Ken Trahan with Lenny Van Gilder. It's our First NBC Bank Weekend Review. Brought to you by First NBC Bank with 39 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana and into the Florida Panhandle. That's First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNOLA.com. Don't forget SportsNOLA TV, Monday night, 6 p.m. Debuting right here, right now, on this set. You got it. Watch it each and every Monday, 6 p.m. here on WHNO Television, TV 20, which is, of course, our partner. Lenny, it was an interesting weekend for the Saints. They had a disappointing performance against the Steelers. They had some guys get injured, including Human and a couple of running backs, among others. Now they've got some roster decisions to make, and they've got a meaningless fourth preseason game. And again, they go into that game winless, much like last year.
And it's, it was kind of baffling to me a little bit. I thought, coming home might see a little bit better effort against the Steelers. Steelers offense just shredded the Saints' #1 defense to the tune of 230-plus yards in the first quarter. And while the Saints' #1 offense did manage to get a touchdown, it took really a miraculous catch by Willie Snead in the back of the end zone to even get that done. This is a team I'm beginning to wonder here. And I mean, you're talking about some of the things maybe on the offensive line. We've heard some things that maybe Andrus Pete's going to move over to the left guard spot. The season opens in less than 2 weeks. Is this the time to really be experimenting with your offensive line at this point? Maybe they don't have a choice, but that is the one spot on this team that really requires some chemistry. And, guys working together, in tandem, in unison. And right now, I don't see that, and that's very concerning, especially when the most important thing that line is doing, besides blocking for running backs, is keeping number 9 upright.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of concerns. Obviously, the offensive line is number 1, but secondary, in particular, cornerback after Delvin Breaux, who do you really have that can play, that can play and can match up with legitimate number 2 NFL receivers, or 3s for that matter? Who's your kicker? Offensive line in depth there, as we talked about. And, of course, now even at tight end, with Human going down, you got Josh Hill, and you're basically going to your practice squad for a third guy.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of questions to be answered. And obviously we'll see the cut down to 75 here. It has to happen by Tuesday. And then the cut down to 53 comes after the final preseason game Thursday night against Baltimore. And look, they've got some hard decisions to make, and I've got to believe that there are multiple guys who will make the final 53 who are not sitting on Airline Drive right now.
Yeah, that's my guess as well. I think that when they announce that roster, stay tuned, because within a day or two after that, it's going to change at least by 2 or 3 guys. And that's what you have to do to get better, and then you're going to have to indoctrinate those guys very quickly to get them where you need to get. Saints and the Ravens, Thursday night, 7 p.m. in the preseason finale. College football season gets underway this week. Tulane opens it Thursday night at Wake Forest. It's the debut of Willie Fritz as head coach. Glenn Coulier will be his starting quarterback, but he said he will play a second quarterback in this game. Lenny, I got to believe we'll see this run-oriented offense that we've heard about, and a team that tries to shorten games.
Exactly. That's what you expect from Willie Fritz, based on Georgia Southern. A little bit on what Fritz's philosophy was at Sam Houston State, though not as much. It was a little more evenly balanced there. He says they're going to try to run it 40 times a game, throw it 30 times a game. Let's see how that all shakes itself out. Who knows exactly what is going to happen? You're dealing with a situation. If you're Wake Forest, you really don't know what to expect out there. What is it that you're preparing for? And are you going to be able to adjust quickly enough? Based on that, I give Tulane a fighter's chance Thursday night.
And then the LSU Tigers open at historic Lambeau Field this coming Saturday afternoon against Wisconsin. LSU's a 10-point favorite in the game. LSU, of course, will unveil its new defense with Dave Aranda. They've had some losses to injury leading up to the season on defense. We'll see how that affects them. And, of course, offensively, it's all about Brandon Harris. We know Leonard Fournette and how good he is, but it's all about whether Brandon Harris is taking that next step. Because if LSU is going to truly be the number 5 team in the country, which we're told they are, and be a contender for the national championship, Brandon Harris has to be better.
There's no question about it. That's really the key to the success. You expect Leonard Fournette to be Leonard Fournette. You expect the defense to be good no matter what scheme it is you're running. But Harris, he can be the difference. And how much he's allowed to do this year will truly determine really how far this LSU team goes.
High school football and the regular season gets underway this coming weekend. It starts on Thursday with some games locally, and then, of course, on Friday night, The 22nd year of Ken Trahan's original Prep Football Report kicks off on 9 radio stations statewide, on SportsNOLA.com live as well. And 22 years, hard to believe. We'll have Rick Gailey and Ro Brown with our countdown show, and with me all night long. Reports from 35 to 40 games around the state. Analysis from all over the state from the top analysts you can find, and of course interviews with winning coaches. Scoreboards courtesy of SportsNOLA.com twice an hour, and you can go to SportsNOLA.com all night to get the updated scores, as everyone in the state seemingly does with the number of people that visit. It's the best scoreboard around. We hope you'll check it out. And of course, last but not least, that leads into our first NBC Bank Prep Showcase, which gets underway this coming Friday, live at SportsNOLA.com, tape delayed Saturday on WHNO TV 20. What a matchup. Two teams that played for state championships a year ago. Riverside hosting John Ehret, 2A, 5A matchup. Last year, it was a 1-point game over on the West Bank. And Lenny, what a great way to kick off this season on SportsNOLA and WHNO.
Yeah, we actually streamed the game last year on SportsNOLA.com on that Friday night. Get the rematch this time around. It's actually the second year in a row that we've got two teams who finished the year before in the Superdome opening our schedule as part of the first NBC Bank Prep Showcase. Just good luck, I guess, if you will. But we are looking forward to bringing it all to you right here on SportsNOLA and WHNO.
We are indeed. Ken Berthelot, Wade Kaiser, and Les East will bring you the action. I know you will enjoy it, and we hope you'll be with us all year long on our first NBC Bank Prep Showcase. Lenny, as always, thanks very much. Have a great week.
We'll see you later this week.
That's our first NBC Bank Weekend Review, brought to you by First NBC Bank, with 39 locations throughout the New Orleans area and growing. That's First NBC Bank, proud sponsor of SportsNOLA.com. He's Lenny and I'm Kenny. Have a great week and God bless.